The ball goes wide, it'll trickle over the boundary line.
Well, that was a nothing kick.
Harvey to the centre. You feel as though there's a need there for Norwood to run off McGowan.
I would have thought that's the plan. Get somebody with real pace and exploit McGowan's lack of pace.
Into the path of Harvey. Speaking of pace, does have it, and here's the man we were just talking about, to Reid. Quick entries to the forward line make a lot of difference, particularly if you can carry the ball in there with some purpose and control.
I would suggest to you this man carries Norwood's goal-scoring hopes on his shoulders.
Keep in mind that the tractor, Chris Prime, is sitting on the bench as well. The Reid kick just slides across the face. The Central District see it through. It's getting pretty dark here at Football Park. I wonder if there's a shower or two along the way. 5-11 plays 3-4.
Should mention, Stephen, that in all matches they've played this year, nobody's got more than 4 goals.
Scotty Lee runs round Tyson comfortably, and McKinnon it was. Fingertip. Can't take that. So half forward line for the Redlegs. They need some goals. Rowe, that's better, on the left. Quick gift to Irving's on the left, but just butchers the kick. And all the time, normally pretty decisive with his leg. Puts it out of bounds on the full. We're 7 minutes into this third term. And the Bulldogs, 5-11, 41, lead the Redlegs, 3-4-22.
Stephen Rowe, just 7 possessions. He's been well blanketed. That kick holds up into the breeze. Wakeland floats across the front. Well done by McGowan off hands. He looks so much better in the middle of the ground. Cotton across the top. Fleming. Now, if they were consistent, the umpires, that's holding the ball. He just laid on top of it and wouldn't get it out. Right or wrong?
Well, the rule is if you drag it back under, then you've got to get it out.
There's also a line there in that rule that says you've got to make an attempt. You can't just lie on the ball whether you drag it under or not.
Not even an attempt. If you drag it back under, you've got to get it out. But if you go to ground with the ball and you can't get it out, that's a different thing. But if you go for the ball and you drag it back in, you must get it out.
I just think they've been a little inconsistent with it as Primus pushes it down. Once again, mind you. Plenty of activity on the boundary line as Macca comes in, the enforcer. Potter and Gurdon there, and a lot rides on those two boys as they get to their feet. We're 8 minutes into this all-important third term of the telecast to South Australia and the Northern Territory from Football Park. We're into the third term and the championship term.
Russell with the ball. Rowe getting into the thick of things at the moment. Just can't get a clean take. And the Bulldogs just keep bottling it up at the moment. 19 points in front. They can sniff a grand final for the first time, or a spot in the grand final. Plenty to go. Fleming off the ground. James had a good contest with Healy. Great give to Maynard. And that is a lovely take by Reid. Right on top of him was Windsor, and he took it beautifully.
Look how the ball came in. When the ball comes in like that low, now that ball is not lobbed in. It doesn't allow the defenders to set up and spoil. It came in no more than, 2 metres off the ground, and pretty well weighted the kick too.
Strong pair of hands, Ashley Reid. Will have no problems with the distance, and the Redlegs need this one. Will kick from 50. And he's kicked it magnificently. That's what the legs needed. 2 goals to Ashley Reid.
And we talked about Norwood's hopes resting with this man, but they certainly do. He kicked 32 goals coming into this game, and that's in 9. So he's done pretty well, and at one stage he got 22 from 3 to really make an impact and drive Norwood onto the finals. And that is a spectacular grab. They need more of that. They need him to be aggressive and call for the ball more. And look at the kick from 50. Dead in front, it didn't deviate.
Back into 13 points the difference, and we're nearly 10 minutes into this third term. McGowan, productive and influential as always, gets it to the half-back man in Reimers. 8 possessions for him today, only as far as Maynard, who's really starting to make his presence felt. Inside the 50-metre line, who's there? Smart, Reid, and so too Tyson. He wheels around, puts it back to the danger zone, no messing around from him. Wakeland, Reid and Rowe is at the back. And they see it across the line, so the central defence is under pressure.
You talked about Wakeland going forward, but I think he's done a pretty fair job in defence. He's been needed there along with Scotty Lee. They've been solid.
Football Park is the scene of the prelim final. Central looking for their first ever grand final, and the Redlegs looking for their 27th premiership.
Now that encompasses what's going on. McIntosh gets the ball, and Potter is right on his hammer. There's only been 2 or 3 occasions when McIntosh is able to be creative.
Smart and Arnold and Hereda. And the defender's best friend there is the boundary line. They won't find it this time. They wrap it up about 15 metres out from goal.
Well, this is what the Bulldogs did, didn't they, in the first quarter, when Norwood had the breeze. Sorry, Michael.
Chris Finneman in the crowd there, ex-Norwood player and premiership player of 78.
Thanks for that.
Norwood can't get it through. Reimers to Lee. It was Hereda actually, and Lee just trickles it.
I was about to say that the Bulldogs in the first quarter played the boundary line pretty well. They just grabbed the Norwood players when they had the ball. They frustrated Neil Craig and his side. And Neil Craig right now, with last use of this breeze and midway through the quarter, would be very concerned they haven't pegged back the Bulldogs.
The boundary throw in again. Smart. Over the top. Irving. Just swamped by Bulldog players.
There's another
Have a look
example.
at Lee, Potter, Wakeland. They're tough when they're hard. Their defence has stood up pretty well for the whole year, hence the Bulldogs finishing on top of the ladder. Over the top is Brian Hereda again, and just knocks it out of bounds.
And Norwood aren't in a position here to finesse. They need to crack it back to that centre corridor and give themselves a chance, because Central and their intentions are very obvious at the present time. They're just trying to force it to the line, play this third quarter out, and give themselves a crack at the last turn. Cook has it stolen by Davey. A little shaggy is Todd Davey. And they dive in over the footy once more.
Now look at the congestion that the Bulldogs are generating back there. Now the Norwood runner's out and he's saying, fellas, get away, make them chase you. Look, now the Norwood players fan out. That's good coaching, Neil Craig. Make them chase you out of the area.
Games like this often get tagged unattractive, but it's actually a fascinating battle of tactics. As Hereda once again sees it to the line. Norwood have got Primus there. They need him to belt it back and perhaps get down amongst the play. He's sitting on the back play at the moment.
Triggy, we've been in this pocket from the 9.5-minute mark. We are now almost 13 minutes in. They've wasted 4 valuable minutes.
Surely have. McKinnon. Class act. Lee. And speaking of class acts, this is Healy. Always finds the target, and this time he's got the rangy man in Anthony Ingerson. Now Ingo will have a look. All that's on offer down there is Cotton. And so too McKinnon. Doesn't miss many in the air. He's playing a lone hand. It's good mark. He plays it on. McGowan, left leg, has a look at Cotton at left half forward and finds him. In fact, it's Schwert. A little unfashionable. A little longer in the shorts. The long sleeve jumper and the socks are down. He puts it to within 30 metres of the goals. Lures. He'd really get a confidence booster if he could take one of those. Primus. They mess around with it. Daniels gets a quick kick forward. The pressure's now on that Norwood defence. Davey cops a heavy one and goes down and will have a bounce down.
One of the reasons that Abbott was brought into the side. Attacks on the ball and the man just like that. He is a tough, no-nonsense player. Centrals have got a bit of depth.
Tyson been quiet for the Redlegs. Reimers has done a fair job. Over the top was Ingerson. Cotton, quick kick, and Fleming. The quick handball to Miller. Now Miller goes long, but it's just going to come off. Oof! To Russell late with Stevens. And it may have been a 25-metre, but not to be on this case. Short kick. Doesn't come off. This is where they get in trouble. Not decisive at all. It might come off. Backs it up. McIntosh, great hands to Daniels. Now Irving. He's got on his left Rowe. Rowe's running without eyes on the ball. He may end up getting this. Pushes it out. Great backup by Harvey, but intercepted. Hereda has been fantastic. Stevens in front. It's 2 on to 3. And the Bulldogs, well, they just tied up again.
Well, it was great work by Kim Russell. It was 2 on to 1 at one stage until Russell got support. He was good enough to hold Stevens in and then just bottle up the ball when Cook was ready to run away with it.
Norwood bunker there. Up out of their seats and feeling the pinch. Craig Barn getting ready to come back onto the ground. 15 minutes have elapsed in this third term.
Well, where do you suggest he might go, Stephen?
I reckon he'd be lining up to take Primus' spot once again. Can't see any need for him down the front at the present time. McIntosh. Davey gives some ground, then pops up a high one. Really takes some marking this one. Raiders at the back, best spot, couldn't quite take it. Let it out the back. Reed, Harvey, frightening leg speed if he gets hold of the ball, can't do so. Stephen Rose in there. Healy, was it in the back? No, said the umpire. McGowan, Windsor, they've got one spare in the middle. It's McKinnon, he should be used, and he is. He gets inside, then gets a handball across the top to Gurdon. The runner's on. The little turbocharger from Windsor now left leg, fires away at the goals, but he's missed it, and Maynard sees it to the line.
It was a good build-up, wasn't it? Windsor just didn't have the depth on the left leg. He was at full bore, and when you run from full back, that's 140, 150 metres. He just didn't have anything left when he got there.
Just more decisive, the Bulldogs. Their run from defence is exceptional. Clements to Daniels. The advantage play, but look at this. Should have wrapped it up McGowan, but Wakem all the time in the world will go short to the skipper. And that's too high, Matthew Primus.
That hurts.
Oh, won't worry Roger Gurdon, I can tell you, he is tough.
Well, the Redlegs are rattled, and that is a fantastic grab. Simon Lewis, well, the umpire hasn't paid it, but interesting to note, no one stood the mark from Gurdon's free.
Well, is this a mark or not? He holds it, he brings it to the ground, but it falls out as he comes down.
5-12, plays 4-4. 15 points in at Ingerson. Central have a bit more poise at the moment. You get the feeling they're rising to the challenge, and they're just starting to get a hold of the final and understand what it's all about. Tim Cook. Short pass is beautiful, and it's got at it. You're right, Michael, that red leg defence is just a little rattled.
And Rodney Maynard off the ball and just say, fellas, let's get on top of this. Now, a goal here will really hurt.
Hard running and accurate foot passing fractures any defence. And we've seen very little accuracy so far. It's very important for the Bulldogs that Abbott finishes this off. He's very deliberate and he's very strong. The Bulldogs get their sixth at the 18-minute mark of the third term. 6-13 plays 4-4 with Abbott's first.
We had a little chat at half-time amongst ourselves, and we thought, look, this game is so tight. Norwood could come out and kick 3 or 4 goals and get right back in the hunt. But if they let the Bulldogs just get up for 1 or 2 goals in this term, it would be near impossible to come back. And look what's happened. Just one drop in concentration, and Abbott falls into the hole and drills it. I'll give you an idea how they feel about him right now, the Redlegs.
The Bulldogs, the chant goes up. McKinnon has played well, great hands. McGowan too's had a good day. The Bulldogs just keep pushing it forward. They're just a little bit more intense than the Redlegs at the moment. Neil Craig, a little bit worried there.
The margin's blown out to 21 points now. It was only 19 at half-time. And we're nearly 19 minutes into the third term.
And the Bulldogs to come home with a 5-goal win. They're playing with confidence. McGowan caught. Rowe. Can he do anything? No, he can't. James has been a great contest. The crowd say holding the ball again. So the Bulldogs, their tackling and their commitment is first class.
Jimmy Wine sitting there on the central bunker with that broken right leg. Bad news for the Bulldog rover.
Craig Barham has gone to half forward. Herrera's picking him up. Cook couldn't quite get a clean leg to it. McIntosh to Tyson. Tough one to take once again. Great courage from Rhymes. He's given the free kick away though. And Harvey with that right quadricep, very heavily strapped, is going to get a free kick. Short pass. Norwood fans urging their side on. Roger James. Short pass, Davey, and he's got him. Davey will have a shot from 45 metres out on a tough angle, but the Breeds will help him.
They need more from him. 5 kicks and 7 handballs, 11 possessions. They need a lot more.
Davey from 40 to 45, critical kick. Pops it up in the breeze, gives it every good chance. It just slips across the front. And Central breathe a sigh of relief. 6-13 to 4-5, 19 shots to 9.
Been a pretty good pickup, Abbott, since coming across from the Eagles, but they need more from their running players, the Redlegs.
McKinnon just takes it inside the line. And one of the half-backers for the Bulldogs that really do create is called to play on, Hereda. Gave it to him flat-footed all the time in the world to pick off Scott Stevens. He'll be enjoying it back in the league company. The bounce favours McCormack. Being a bit quiet, the handball is straight to Waitman, or any one of three. That's not a good kick. And Miller to Rowe. Rowe goes over the top. He's got Tyson. He's going to get swamped. Back to Harvey. Inside to beautifully done. Primus goes long. Over the back is Craig Barham and takes a magnificent grab. The old boy of the Norwood side.
Well, that's Tony Harvey's goal if Barham happens to kick this. He really worked it out. Miller and Rowe in defence. But Harvey created the 3 overlaps and really put his body on the line for the team. And it set up Primus to bomb that ball in long to Barham.
Barham should have no problems at all. He doesn't. He puts through his first, so the Redlegs hang on, and they go at the 5-5-35, still training the Bulldogs on 6-13.
Now look, watch the work here. Rowe with the terrific handball, the good vision. Now this is where it starts. Harvey won. Keeps going. Look at him. He's pulled off the ball by Ingerson, but Jeff Gain put himself on the line and really set it up. Ingerson, frankly, should have taken him off in the first instant. You just can't let players run past you like Ingerson did then. But Harvey was good enough to get around him and just set it up beautifully.
22 minutes into this third term. 6-13 plays 5-5. The Redlegs are on a surge. Here's McIntosh. They're charging forward. Another assault on the goal front. This time Reed's got it. And with 2 already, he provides a real danger in the middle of the ground. Harvey's crook. But Reed's got it 30 metres out.
He got collected at the bounce, Harvey. So obviously the Bulldogs recognise that a running player in the midfield can hurt them.
11. Make that 12 centre breaks to 2. Getting a flogging in the middle. Reed. Oh, you're at full forward. You're a specialist goal kicker. You have to kick them when you're like this.
It's 2 goals, 3-2 by the way. That's his return.
14 points down. You needed a return of a goal.
Windsor brings it back in. He's got McKinnon and Huey Reimers. So they're very tall across half-back, the Bulldogs.
He's been pretty solid today, Reimers, whether it be running or in the air. Along with Healy, they're good long-rangey players. That's a good mark too, Cotton.
And Clements just makes him earn it. Very fine grab. So the Bulldogs go into attack. That's not a good kick. Maynard just takes it in front of the dugout. A pretty good game, Rodney Maynard. He's going to go long. They need another one, the Redlegs. McKinnon all by himself. It's just not good enough. You have to make the contest.
Well, he doesn't normally take a lot of overhead marks, McKinnon. Michael, does he?
Not renowned for it. More so for that bursting through the lines and kicking over another line.
Well, I was about to make the point. McKinnon, that was his 7th mark today, and each of them have been vital, aggressive, courageous marks.
13 points in it. Ingerson goes into battle with Primus. The very durable Matthew Primus has been very, very good today. Abbott gets it towards the line where Stephen Rowe doesn't even bother to keep it in. Just sees it across. A minute from time on. Rowe and Girdham. In games like this, the experienced heads win games. And those two, for example, will play a big part. Ingerson got over the top of Primus, put a hand on the shoulder, didn't give away the free kick. Rowe across his shoulder, not holding the ball and not a free kick for too high either. An old floater. Scott Lee, a tough one to take. Belts it to the boundary line quite unashamedly.
You just sense the Bulldogs know they haven't won a preliminary final ever. Alan Stewart on the bench. You see Jim Wine, and they're going to fix it today, aren't they?
Just maybe. I think you're selling Norwood a bit short at 13 points the difference. Both sides have been able to score into the breeze. This game's a long way from over. Scott Lee takes it at half-back. Holds up the traffic just a little and then finds the emerging best-on-ground player in Marty McKinnon.
Very prominent the last time these two sides met. Well, the Bulldogs in that first semi, winners by 4 points. A kick again.
That breeze is a problem. It's swirling around now. Cotton, who's not a bad kick, did exactly the same thing. And Marty McKinnon, I'd back him 9 times out of 10 to use the ball pretty well. So it's obviously a lot stronger and swirling a lot more than we give it credit for.
Into time on by 25 seconds. The legs into attack. Balm. Off hands is Irving. Oh, ducked into it. And a good decision.
Fair enough.
Umpire.
Yeah, when you duck, you've got to be very good.
Ducked straight into the oncoming traffic in Craig Balm now.
You can kick this.
He will have a shot for goal. He's a very fine kick of the football. 254 games. Came to Norwood in 1984.
Premiership year. In fact, the last year, the Redlegs won a flag.
Let's ride it with him. Oh, it's come back. That is a magnificent kick of the football. Craig Balm's arms in the air. He's kicked it from 75 metres. His second.
When you're wanting a man in a big game to give you something, this fellow can do it. Now watch him. Just applies the tackle, holds him, lifts him up by the shorts, drags him, then says the umpire that's holding the ball, and the umpire agrees with him. And he goes back. Now he kicks this ball from 65, maybe 68 metres. It just gets there. It doesn't matter how you get there, it's still a goal.
Port Adelaide haven't yet determined an opponent. This game is far from over. Look at that. Just 2 goals each to Reid and Balm. The rest are singles. The game's alive at Football Park. 6-13 plays 6-6. Out it comes towards Tyson. He's going to be cut off by Reimers. 2 versus 1 out there. Healy, Tyson, he's good enough. Gets cleaned up in the process, though. It's tough out there. He butters up and does it very well. Kicks it around the body. A high one. Take that if you can. Right down the front it goes. The danger signs are there for the Bulldogs. Dan Tokia. Got all their very good players on the ball at the moment. James, McIntosh is in there. So too is McKinnon. What's happened there? A bounce down.
You wondered who got Tyson on the far side. Well, it was Scotty Lee who did the defender. And he just spun in time, otherwise it would have been a full frontal.
27 and a half minutes gone in this third term. If Norwood get another one, they'd love the quarter to go forever.
You just worry about that goal that they allowed Johnny Abbott to kick at the other end. Neil Craig would be just giving that Chewy a workout. And had Abbott not kicked that goal at the other end a few moments ago, the Redlegs would be a point down.
In ruck. Loose footy comes in handy. Oh, throw call by the umpire on Kim Russell it was. So the Bulldog defence can take a breather. Play on. Goes wide to the Raider. Just playing possession football. Martin McKinnon in exactly the same spot a few minutes ago. Put it out of bounds. This is a better kick. Primus behind the punch. Harvey can't take it. Beautiful give to McGowan. And look at that kick. Beautiful hands. Beautiful foot skills as well. Abbott. They need to hold him up at the moment. The Redlegs. Good kick. And Clements, the recruit from the Eagles.
And a pretty good recruit too.
He's done exceptionally well across the half-back line. So we're inside the 50 for the Bulldogs.
Alan Stewart, Peter Jonas, Jimmy Wind on the bench.
And the little Professor Alan Stewart's going to have his work cut out at 3/4 time because the Redlegs are breathing down their